All right. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the next match in the Bloodborne All Bosses tournament. I'm Curious Peanut, and with me today is KC Smurf.
Hello. Today we got a great match between the Dutchmen, GiantCookieJar versus Dplanet36. Both very experienced runners, and yeah, should be a really good one.
I am excited. If everything, I think pretty much we're ready. So I'll do a countdown from 5, and we will get going. So, 5, 4, I will go when I start the countdown. It will go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
This is like rock paper scissors, shoot.
Yeah, pretty much. Got to make sure we're all on the same page. So, this will be the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
Let's get it.
Let's go. So, for some of you guys that didn't know, KC Smurf actually used to run this way back in the day, and he actually used to do the unique sauce spear route, which pretty much meant you just don't do sewer skip, right?
Yeah. It's like minimal. It's like 1 to 2 extra hits on end bosses, but I just like the weapon. It was fun. So I'm a little behind on strats, so Peanut's going to accompany me because he's a current badass runner. With he's up to date on everything. And,
questionable, but
it's been about 3 years since I've ran, but we'll get the gist of it. So first thing we're doing is trying to get out of Yosefka's clinic. This wolf is designed to kill us, so we want to get away and hopefully make it to the ladder and to the lamp without him getting us.
You know, I'm pretty sure we have had 0 wolf deaths thus far. I hope I didn't jinx them.
The insane commentator curse.
Yeah, so we'll see. So, no, I don't even think we've had a gas coin death, to be honest.
Insane jinx. Cookie going for some extra blood vials there. Not too far out of the way, but they'll do some strats. They'll take some extra lamps. If you're not familiar with Bloodborne, those are like your checkpoints. They're going to take some extra lamps, maybe do some peach strats, if you will, some safety strats. So Cookie starting out with 6 vials, meanwhile DP going with only 2. And they both made it to the lamp, and they are going to choose their weapon of choice, which will be the Saw Cleaver. Default weapon, super OP, used the entire run. And the Hunter's Pistol, just going to use that for parrying, really.
There's also some there's a few little cool things you can do with the pistols, kind of situational. You'll see it at Miko. You'll see some potentially with, shooting dogs. Somehow dogs in this game have no poise, so that's always a fun endeavor, especially when you fail sewer skip.
And it looks like Dplanet, if you watched him for a moment there, he decided to spam X when you pick up your right hand or your trick weapon, and he took the threaded cane as well. He's never going to actually use that to fight anything, but he's going to use it for a skip later on. We'll explain. I think most current runners probably do it with the Saw Cleaver, right, Peanut?
It's kind of a mixed bag. Some else, I think people are trending towards the cleaver, but there are some that still think the cane is easier.
Gotcha.
It's just pretty much saves a hit, which if you use the bolt paper at that time.
All right. So Cookie is going to jump up on this convenient post and jump on the pillar and quit out. That will store his position. And this is the sewer skip, by its name, it skips the sewer. Dplanet does a little different. He goes for the second pillar. He always has. But if you quit out on the fence, it won't work. But if you get on one of those pillars and he hits the second pillar there, they should both spawn in on top of the fence, and they will run and drop down to the bridge on the way to the first boss, which is Father Gascoigne.
The insane alt setups. No plunges today.
Yeah, no plunges. You can get the skip without quitting out, but it's
I actually got it in my race, and I wasn't gonna go for it. I never do, but I remember I could hear Hattie commentating. He's like, pretty much, you're a chicken if you don't go for it. I was like, I got to now.
Got to. All right. So you see they're both healing. They got their Molotov cocktails. Basically, the old strat used to be to parry Gascoigne and then riposte them, but now it's a lot of backstabs because it's more time efficient. You see backstabs into Molotovs because when he's staggered, he takes more damage. So you can do double backstabs a lot in this game, or you can backstab into Molotov. Just anytime they're staggered like that, you see Cookie getting a really good start.
It's enough to make a man
He's a hunter boss. He's probably one of the hardest, honestly, because you don't have a lot of resources at the beginning.
I think it's pretty. He's one of the hardest, if not the.
Cookie playing it a little safe here.
And for that exact reason, you really don't have a lot of resources at this point, and you just don't have damage.
All right, and then he's going to try to transform into a beast, around 30% or so. If you throw the Molotov cocktail while he's transforming, you get double damage. You get a Molotov hit on his human phase and his beast phase. He transformed too quick there on Cookie, so Cookie took the backstab and then finished him off. So GG by Cookie. Here he's going to get, DP gets the double Molotov, which instantly aggroes Gascoigne. So take the parry and the riposte, and GG by both runners.
All right, I guess Gascoigne will not stay. He hasn't claimed one yet, and that streak continues.
And Cookie picking up the Hunter Workshop tool. If you're not familiar with Bloodborne, basically this is what you need to upgrade your weapon. So in this game, you use blood gems. You upgrade your weapon from +0 to +10, like any other Souls game. But then you can put different types of gems in for more equipment, poison, fire, arcane. We're going to be doing a physical gem build. So just getting as much physical damage as possible, and then using the buffs once they come into play.
And Cookie is approaching. Is probably a big one of the reset points in the run. And I always joke that any good Gascoigne dies to either dogs or old Yarnum skip.
It's the law of Gascoigne.
Pretty much, because these guys are not friendly. Because you pretty much are running by them, opening the door, which kind of sets you in place, but they can run up on you and get in front of you or behind you, and it's just very awkward.
Yeah, so Cookie talking to Alfred here, an NPC with a whole quest line, but all we really want from him is the fire paper. There's mainly beast bosses and other bosses in this game, and the beasts are all weak to fire, so we get 3 fire paper. And DP opted for another little safe strat there. He picked up the hunter set. Basically, the starter set you wear in actual runs is like paper scraps. Not that defense is huge in this game, but he opted for the hunter set, which is about 6 seconds out of the way, but it's going to give him a little bit more defense than those shredded pieces of paper that he starts with. So both getting by the dogs, which is good.
Pretty much synced up on the screen here.
Yeah.
We had an extra quit up by Cookie. I think he had because he didn't want to get killed by the dogs. But we're going off of IGT today, so and I think Cookie's on PS5 and DP's on PS4 Pro with an SSD. So there's really not much difference. You might get a few seconds difference RTA when we get to the end of the run, but really they're pretty much evenly matched as far as hardware.
So I'm going to pick up the pungent blood cocktails here. These attract, it's like an alluring skull, attracts certain type of enemies, and both runners are going to take the lamp here. This would not be one they would normally take in a run, but because of the new old Yarnum skip, whatever version this is, it has a high mortality rate. It's easy to mess up. So, and then they would have to run all the way back from Cathedral Ward. So they're going to go, and then both runners do different setups here. Let's see. Both get it?
I still don't know how Cookie and the others do it that way. I think it's some witchcraft.
Yeah.
Getting a sword roll there by the wolf.
Both runners picking up the Beast Blood Pellet, which is going to be basically the most important item in the run. If you're familiar with the other Souls games, it's your Red Tearstone Ring, it's your Bright Bug. Basically, you take it and your defense goes down, your damage goes up. So they do trick attacks, which is like the R1, L1, or the double backstabs, and they're going to build the beast meter up. And the higher the meter gets, the more damage you deal, the more damage you take. But it's going it's kind of a glass cannon build, if you will. So beast blood pellets are going to be used on almost every boss throughout the entire run, and that's going to allow to not level up your weapon ideally for certain places, or not have your stats super OP right away. So going to do fire paper and pellet, and then those pungent blood cocktails. The boss just happens to be attracted to them. So this should be a pretty straightforward strat with trick attacks and backstabs.
There's always that slight chance you can get away, though.
And she's pretty erratic.
Like right there, she tried to jump back, but luckily he compensated for that backstab.
She's not being very kind to DP. She's kind of being a little erratic. See if he doesn't have enough for 2 backstabs. He's gonna have to take a visceral. And 1 more hit should finish her off.
And Cookie will go ahead and take the lamp, so he doesn't. I don't know if he took the lamp, so he needs to take the. Did they both take the lamp up top?
Yeah, they both took Old Yarnum lamp.
Okay.
So they're gonna keep. Normally they would mark out here and lose these 10,000 echoes from the boss, but they're gonna actually have a little more levels, or a little more echoes to play with.
There was in a few of the previous matches we've had 12 vit save some people, you know, or increasing vit. So I think everybody's starting to take that into account and make that adjustment. So yeah, both the guys are going to be going up the elevator here, and then they're going to be going in the abandoned church workshop. You don't hang out here very long. Healing church workshop, excuse me. And then you fall down into the workshop that's real.
Here. And the reason they're going here is they're going to pick up 1/3 of the umbilical cord. There's actually 4 of them in the game for whatever reason. But you only need 3. And you pop all 3. Each one gives you 3 insight, which we'll explain insight in a bit. But you have to pop all 3 to fight the true final boss. And they're also going to be picking up the doll set, which sells for 35,000 echoes, which is a ton of levels early on.
There's actually quite a few different armor sets in this game you can sell for quite a bit of money. Later on, it's like,
ooh, DP gets the gesture on the.
Oh, he's just taking a break.
Yeah, taking a breather.
He's got these older runners. They need to, keep their stamina up.
So this next setup they're going to be doing is really cool. It's called the ladder warp. It's used more in all achievements. It's a super cool find, but unfortunately there's just not a lot of use for it in all bosses. Basically what they're going to do is hit X to prompt the ladder while they do another animation, like shooting a gun. He just switched his left-hand weapon, and you see how it kind of sucked him into the ladder. As long as you don't die or go through a loading screen, which would come from death, you can now move throughout the game, and then whenever you quit out, you're going to be back at the ladder. So basically it just saves all those staircases he just ran up. He's going to kill the boss up here, and then he's going to quit out, and he's going to be back at the ladder.
It's neat. I think it saves roughly 16 to something like that seconds. It's a nice little time save.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the only place you can use it is right there, really, to be optimal in this category.
Yeah, here's the next boss. If you're familiar with your first play, this boss is probably a pain in the rear. But with the pellet and the paper, we joke about bad Amelia RNG, because if you mess up this strat, it's totally on you. This is going to be limb breaking. The beast, all their limbs can be broken. So basically, this is a +0 weapon. You could have up to, like, I think a +3 or 4 right now. But with these buffs, you basically just stun lock Amelia the entire fight, because she can't fight back. So let's hope.
Because you don't want her to fight back.
Yeah, she will tear you up. All right, so GG by Cookie. So now
remember, they haven't upgraded anything. Yeah. It's pretty much riding the beast blood pellet at this point.
So Cookie takes the lamp, and now he quits out. And then, again, instead of running back down those stairs, he's just going to be back at the ladder. GG by DP as well. No bad Amelia RNG today.
Pretty smooth starts by both guys.
Yeah, we're close. And again, if you're not familiar with in-game time, that's the time spent in game. So all these quit outs aren't going to count against them. At the end of the day, they might look super close, but if one had more quit outs than the other, or vice versa, we might not know. So again, they're running on similar setups, but quit outs reset the enemies in this game. So it just depends on if they get in a pickle or if one chooses to use more safety quit outs than the other. So, but I think they're pretty close as far as quit outs and position. They're almost at the exact same place. Going to pick up some twin bloodstone shards here. Those are going to be the ones that are take your weapon from +4 to +6.
And that, I think it's just those and the ones we grab. Are those the only ones we grab? But I know they'll take us to +4.
You get one more after the fall up here on the.
Yeah, okay.
And they got the gold pendant from Amelia. They're going to pop that while the door's opening, so don't lose any time. And that's going to raise damage against beasts, which the next boss happens to be. So it's just perfect timing to pop that. You see DP just picked up a blood gem. That's going to be the first one. It's 10% at full health, and it's 7.3% if you're not at full health. So it doesn't sound like much, but you 10% of damage is 10% damage, you know?
Well, even that just little 2.7% at full HP,
yeah,
can literally save you a hit or two on some of the bosses coming up.
For sure.
So it's definitely something to take into account.
So first time back, they're going to buy some Molotovs, and then they're going to sell the doll set. Once you kill Amelia, you can use Insight. Insight's basically another form of currency. It affects things like frenzy resist, poison resist, item discovery. And because they killed Amelia, now they can buy bloodstone shards, which are their basic upgrade material. So they buy 16 of those, and then with the twin shards they picked up, they take their weapons to +4, enter both blood gems, kill the doll because it's faster than talking to her, and she'll always respawn. And then it looks like Cookie is going to go for the 12-bit strat because he killed BSB and saved those echoes. And now he's headed to the Cathedral Ward, and DP's right behind him.
I know one thing that always messes me up when I take extra lamps is you're menuing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I saw Cookie kind of have to do a little bit. He had to juggle a little bit. It happened to me during my race. I grabbed so many lamps that I was like, I couldn't even find Grand Cathedral at the end of the run.
So you can stab yourself to make 5 blood bullets, and he's actually doing that because they want to die here. With the 12-bit, you actually need to be hit twice, which is funny if he does certain attacks. Oh, yeah, and DP just wrong warped.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
see, these are the things that can happen.
You die here to go to the Hypogean jail or whatever it's called. You can go here later, but we come here early to kill Parl, which is the beast boss, and this will allow us to buy bolt paper, which in Bloodborne there's only basically fire and bolt, and bolt paper is pretty OP, so try to get here as early as possible. Parl going to be another scripted fight, hopefully.
I think nowadays he's pretty much standard, and even if you miss, like, since we've removed fire paper from the strat, you pretty much do like 5 hits at the end, with the 5th one being a charged R2. If you missed a charged R2, you just have to do like 2 to 3 extra hits, and when he jumps away.
Yeah. Back in my day, we fought him with fire paper.
Hell, back in your day, they used to go around the world on this guy.
Yeah.
But thankfully for us, we had a guy named Hex who figured out a lot of different cool things in this speed run, and one of them was limb soreness, as it is kind of the way we call it. And you can explain that, Casey.
Yeah, so just all the beasts, they you can break all their limbs, and while their limbs are broke, they take even more damage. So it's kind of a win-win to stagger the bosses and deal a ton of damage as well. So going to buy those bolt papers, and then pick up the Eye of the Blood Drug Hunter. That's actually the DLC key. So once you kill Amelia, that shows up on the stairs. You could go to the DLC right now. Obviously, we're not, but just pick it up because it's right there. Now, Cookie's got a bit of a running section to get to the next boss, which is the Shadows of Yharnam, which Peanut will have to explain the strat because I don't know how you freeze them. But some people choose to fight them in the speed run. Is freezing actually faster?
Freezing is pretty much comparable with a gold, like
okay.
a top tier gold, maybe slightly slower. But I mean, but if you're thinking about just straight the probability of you getting every time getting a gold or close to it is not gonna be a thing. So just having the consistency to do it. Granted, you get the little tree skip, which we'll get to when we get there.
Right.
But it's pretty much faster. In my opinion,
it kind of sucks from the viewing perspective because Shadows is such a cool fight, such a fun fight, but they are a run killer and they can be slow. And the run back to them, even with that little skip you saw Cookie do, the little jump over the rock, the run back to them is like close to 2 minutes. So
I think it's bittersweet because there's also some of that. So you have a little bit of hey, this is what you guys deserve kind of feeling going on.
True, but they are one of the more enjoyable fights, I think.
I'm one of the old boomers who still fight them, but I've come to the realization watching other people do it that I think it's pretty much faster, just off my viewing perspective.
So picking up twin bloodstone shards again, they're at a +4 weapon right now. They're going to get enough to go to +6. They're not going to go to +6. The next upgrade for weapon will actually be +8. We'll get some materials later to get +7 and +8, but they're just picking up shards along the way because got to get them somehow.
Yeah. So they could go +6 now, but at this point it's not even worth it because we can power through everything pretty well.
Right.
And so like Cookie's approaching that skip here now. So you used to go right here, now you go left and you kind of shimmy up on this tree onto the rocks, jump out of bounds. Makes it look so effortless. So you get into this tree and you wedge yourself, which he's doing it so fast that you can't even notice.
And he's gonna drop into the fight and trigger the bosses, quit out, and then their actual AI is triggered by where you're supposed to come in. So now whenever he loads back in, the shadows will be there, but they will not fight back.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you've watched DS3 runs at all, it's the same concept with the Abyss Watchers. You're triggering the fight without actually entering where the fog gate should be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, pretty much in the first go, you enter the fight, right? And then it starts, a couple feet in. After you die to them or whatever, it puts it back at the fog wall where you're entering past that fog wall. So now they're just chilling.
Yep. So this is the shadows.
This is shadows now.
So you don't even use a vault paper when you do it this way, huh?
No, not any. At least not in this category. If you were doing unrestricted, you would because you wouldn't have gems, and the differences of those two routes and this little segment, Shadows ROM, is very kind of shows you the power of gems that you might not necessarily see otherwise.
Unfortunately, DP, I guess is it whenever you're rolling up the tree, you can fall out of bounds. Is that what happened, Peanut?
Yeah, when you do the little jump out, I tried to mention a wedge, but Cookie did it so fast. But there's a little kind of a spot that you kind of like a V that you kind of get yourself into, and it puts you a little bit lower.
So DP quitting out again.
Yeah, so you have to pretty much like do a little bit of a 90-degree jump. Once you kind of become unlodged, you'll kind of start slipping out.
Here's the Lunarium key skip. He's going to jump off the bug's tail. Beautiful.
YOLO.
If you don't get that, you try to jump off the bug's tail into the water versus running up through the Bergenworth College. But if you miss the skip, you can just quit out behind the bug and reset his AI, and he doesn't notice you. But that's
DP having a little bit of trouble with the skip, but he's not losing much IGT since he's doing these quit outs.
It's going to look like he's more far behind than he is because he's quit out 3 times, but again, it's been like 4 or 5 seconds of in-game time each time. So Rom, just want to kill all the little spiders, build a little bit of meter, and then you want to keep it under 1060 damage on her.
Yep, right? That is correct.
And then because of the bolt paper, she's super weak to bolt. He's going to do some trick attacks here, and he's going to keep it under 1060 at 864, and now he's going to stagger her. Oh, she's backing up. She's being a good girl, as Cookie would say. He might one-cycle her here. Depends on if she steps back again.
And just a sliver, but that's fine. That's good for him. one hit and he's done.
He's going to run to the left of the moonlight. And that is Rom. GG by Cookie. And looks like DP still trying to get the shadows going here.
And luckily we figured out kind of where you get into the little spawn point right there in the middle, and there we go. DP got her.
Yep. GG. For the super optimal times, the Rom fight you just watched, I think there's 11 little spiders, and if you fight her casually, she'll move 2 times plus where she starts. So you're talking about 33 spiders. The super optimal, like the world record and such, they do what's called YOLO Rom, which is just balls to the wall. I'm not killing any little spiders. So Rom is a very heavy reset point for optimal times.
Because Rom's really not the boss; it's those little guys, and if you don't kill him, you got 11 plus, times whatever,
right,
of little bosses trying to kill you. And as many of the bosses in this run have little ads, and the ads do more damage than the boss.
Right. So Cookie here picking up some bloodstone chunks. Those are going to be the +6 to +7 to +9 pickups, and then he's going to pick up the Upper Cathedral Ward key to get to the Upper Cathedral Ward later.
And DP obviously not having too much trouble with the shadows since they were chilling as well. He looks a little bit like a boss behind, but he's really not too far behind as far as IGT is concerned.
Right. And Cookie going to do the Yahargul skip here. He's going to do a charged R2 to try to clip through the fence where there's no collision here. Meanwhile, DP, it looks like he's not going to go for the skip. He's just going to go quit out behind the bug.
Oh, Cookie got... Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow, that looked not good for a sec.
Insane Dutch luck.
Because pretty much if you miss that and fall, the fall damage will kill you, and then you got to do the whole thing again, and potentially have your echoes in a bad spot. And at this juncture in the run, you don't really want to lose your echoes.
Right.
Because you're saving them up for the next level up.
So here's the set that they get in the speedruns now, the Yahargul set. Higher Beasthood, meaning you can build up more Beasthood, and obviously better defense than the paper scraps that he started with. So DP will be skipping that set. And Cookie will eventually get the Hunter set, but not till entering the DLC. So going to pick up a really OP gem right here. This is an 18% physical gem, so 18% more damage. Meanwhile, DP gonna start killing some spiders. DP
he actually killed 2. I think he killed 2 without even popping his stuff, just to make sure he had enough meter for the end there, which is a pretty safe call.
Cookie entering the One Reborn fight. This was our MVP enemy a couple years ago. It was responsible for like 18 or 19 deaths.
Something like that.
He can be staggered. He's not I don't know what he is, if he's a beast or what, but he can be staggered, and you stagger his head, and then you stagger his body and his leg. It sounds so easy, but if you're familiar with Demon Souls, this is kind of like the Tower Knight fight. You have 6 Bell Maidens up top that are constantly buffing him and shooting you with fireballs as Cookie gets hit by 3 of them. And this thing can make it rain vomit, corpses. Oh, Cookie really, really close. He's going to back off before the AoE. GG by DP.
You got the limb break. Good.
Got the limb break. And that's it for One Reborn. GG by Cookie. That was... You can see why that boss, I mean, with
he seems like he wasn't happy about that one. I don't blame him. You got to watch out. That limb that he broke at the end, those limbs can do explosions occasionally.
Right.
If you're in close proximity to them. And yeah, he got one of those that almost killed him. But lucky he's got that 12 health.
So this is actually not a peach lamp. He's gonna take this lamp so he can come back later to go to the Nightmare Frontier and fight Amygdala, whatever you want to call her. But the next goal is to get to the Nightmare of Mensis, and he's going to go back to the Dream, because remember, he's only been running that +4. So he's going to go to +8, level up his stats, and he's going to put that 18% blood gem in, which is going to be quite noticeable, quite more damage. Meanwhile, DP going to try not to get hit by this witch. She can actually I think she can one-shot you.
Yeah, because typically you're running, so you'll take a counter hit and get hit. Apparently, I haven't really put too much science behind it, but and I saw actually Cookie do it. If you really hug the left side as you're approaching up there, you actually won't aggro her, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Okay. And if we didn't explain counter damage, basically if you're doing anything outside of walking or standing still, so if you're in mid attack, if you're sprinting, you're going to take what's called counter damage, which is very high in this game, like versus standing still.
We joke it's like 300%, which it
Yeah,
feels like at times.
yeah, it's enough to where in the speed run with how little health you actually have, counter hits will kill you a lot of the time, just one. And DP with a nice skip there. Cookie gonna level up. And DP just debated the little corpse guy, went by his left side, so he turns around and he won't come at him now. So it's a trademark strat I really like.
I still do that, even though I can do it. I can dodge it with them coming at me. I'm like, why mess with it if I don't have to?
Right.
Cookie went ahead and got 32 strength, and typically you get 25 skill. He only got 24, but it's because kind of the levels get kind of messed up if you get 12 bit.
Right.
It costs a little extra to get that last level. But you're pretty much trying to hit the soft caps, which are 25, 25. After that, you start seeing diminishing returns. But since this is a better strength than skill weapon, you're going to put the rest into strength. Way back, we actually used to do, what was it, 34, 35, something like that?
34, 35.
But we kind of started figuring out that 44 strength and doing double backstabs actually did a lot more damage, because there weren't very many bosses that we would visceral.
Yeah, skill affects your visceral damage, so don't do it a lot anymore. Just double backstab everything. All right, and here we go. We bless RNG for DP. Cookie just running through. He's got a ways to go to the next boss.
Now Edgar here, the guy that Cookie's passing, he's been kind of he's been trying his hardest to get involved in these tournament matches. He almost got, I think it was Forrest with the arcane haze.
DP one hit away from the stagger. Now he's going for the AOE. The one reborn came out too quick, so okay, he's gonna get. He's
going back to get the stagger.
Oh, he's not. It's not giving him the stagger. I'm not sure what happened with that front leg. This is little off kilt. You see all the corpse drop and vomit, and the one reborn just going nuts. What is gonna happen? Where is the stagger? His bolt paper has run out.
Which means
now you get to see what.
Which means the pellet. Yeah, the pellet's probably gonna come off soon. This boss
actually is. Oh, please don't die, DP. He got the fireball, the vomit, and then the slap. Yeah, I have no idea what ate that stagger, because you hit that leg probably 10 times more than you should have. So that's unfortunate for DP. He's going to have to do the Yahargul skip and run back again. Meanwhile, Cookie entering the Mikolash, host of the Nightmare fight. Pretty simple fight, kind of puzzle-based. If you remember this from your first time, you're chasing him around, wondering what the heck's going on. But ideally, you just want to chase him into this room, or towards this room, and then aggro him with gunshots. And in phase one, he doesn't really fight back, but these puppets can tear you up. So Cookie gonna opt to kill one.
They're about as thin as a stick man as far as their hitboxes, and I think it's always unique. You don't really hear it, but I think it's the only enemy in the game that you can't gain rally from. So like taking damage from them is very bad, because really the only way you can heal is your vials. I don't think we really touched too much on rally, but pretty much in this game you have a set period of time where you can actually attack and regain your health, which is quite nice in the speed run. You know, rewards playing aggressively. And Reborn's a good example, is if you can do it correctly, you can really not, power through the entire fight, even while taking hits from fireballs and such.
So this fight going to be a little different now, guys. The one Reborn is going to be kicking probably by the time DP gets there, so you might have to switch up and do 3R1s. We'll just have to see. But see how he's already kicking? I don't know if he can get to that body. And there's
Typically the hard
oh
part.
my god. Instant kick into into corpse drop. Really, really unfortunate. As meanwhile, you saw Cookie. If you didn't see, this is a two-phase fight. He dropped down on Mikolash, so he couldn't go into the room where you're supposed to fight him, where the door shuts and you lose like 30 seconds. So he plunged him, and GG Cookie. Really unfortunate for DP. This is one of those fights where the cutscene doesn't start till you're like halfway towards the One Reborn. That might be an exaggeration, but basically it doesn't start till you're well past the fog wall. So now with the fog wall already there, the One Reborn is already attacking well before you get there, if that makes sense. So
yeah, you have to take a different approach, definitely, and he rotates pretty hard, so you got to get past him to get to the sweet spot, you know, to break his body. You want to you have to run a little bit further, and obviously giving him extra time to do something that can pose problems.
Did DP get his? I didn't see. I think DP died so fast he didn't get his ROM echoes back.
Yeah, which will hurt him getting some levels. Pretty much, but it's not super detrimental.
Yeah, he just got super momentum, which happens sometimes where you're not going to land on the pillar. And meanwhile, Cookie came down to get this last gem, or second to last gem. This is another 18, and then he's going to pick up a 15 on the way to the boss here. So it's going to be 18, 18, and 15, which is an extra 51% damage. Those are the 3 physical gems we get, and those are going to be it for the rest of the run. All right, come on,
quite a lot of run to be had. So
yeah, this ain't over by any means, but those were 2 pretty crappy places to die, honestly.
But he still has vials, which is also good.
Right, and he can get extra pellets in the woods. He'll just have to switch up his route a little bit, but he can. He's not short on resources by any means. Cookie opting to use the blue elixir there. Kind of like Hidden Body from Dark Souls. Enemies will notice you, and they still will attack you, but it's like on a delayed reaction. So you see how he ran by the pigs? He runs by the shadows, and then they notice him. So it's a nice safe strat to get to this. This is actually the final boss of any percent, which is the Murgo's Wet Nurse. Oh, he's going for the Kembo vials. He had 10.
Not a bad call, to be honest.
Went ahead and grabbed the extra 6 vials.
And you can drop back behind here and not have to worry about the bullets and all.
So this is Murgo. She's a bit underwhelming, in my opinion. Basically a boss you just want to kind of stay behind. She does have an attack called the Nightmare Phase, where around 70% or so, she'll start making she'll make the whole arena go dark, and she'll make clones of herself for like 45 seconds. I think someone in the no-hit community actually found a way to cancel it, where you lock onto her and you dash twice as the purple mist for the Nightmare Phase shows up, and it will completely, you're like iframing the attack basically. So let's see if she decides to try the Nightmare Phase on Cookie. Meanwhile, DP just going balls to the wall, gets the body break. If he can get this head break, he should be in good position. All right, there's the head. And now the last big limb break. There we go. He's back on par. That was a great fight for Cookie. Great fight for Cookie.
Yeah, and the big thing with Reborn, you'll notice he's got his kind of humanoid body on the top of the big glob of whatever that is. And you can get a lot of double hits, which is it's quite nice for this fight, you know, building meter, building rally back.
Yeah, so you have to wait for 30 seconds for the baby to die. Unfortunately, that is what's happening while Cookie's standing there waiting. If we can get any baby rage in the chat. But you have to wait a while for the nightmare to vanish. And so he's going to go another level up here, which you wouldn't normally do, right? You would do this after Amelia?
Typically in PB attempts, you would do it after Amelia
or after Amygdala, I mean.
Or Amygdala. But you know, it's not a bad idea because you're walking around with 120, 130, 40,000 echoes, and there's a chance that something could go awry on Nightmare Frontier skip more so than AMG, and it's just safer to just dump them, but while you have the chance.
So here's the lecture hall skip, also known as lecture hall. It's not really luck, it's just precise. Cookie makes it look
Too
mwah,
easy.
chef's kiss. And basically that just saves running around to the other side where the big guy is, dropping down and coming back. You'll see his frame rate kind of die here. And that's just, it's like 10, 11 seconds. But if you mess it up, then you can get into a loop of not getting it. And you can end up losing more time than it's worth. The DP going to go back and let's see what kind of levels he's going to opt for, because he's not going to be able to get the 3225. I'm guessing
He did grab the cold blood, which was a smart call.
Right.
There.
He might just pump all strength here. Meanwhile, Cookie doing the Nightmare Frontier skip, which is super cool. So if you look here, this elevator is supposed to be the end of the whole 1 minute run through. You're supposed to get this elevator right before the boss. There's a rock that protrudes just below the elevator. If you get on that rock and quit out, then whenever you come back in, watch how much fall damage Cookie takes. If you were to just jump from the top of the elevator, you die. But from this little rock that looks like it's like 3 inches down, look at that. It takes maybe 30% of his health. So this is one of the coolest skips, and it takes you directly to the boss. So very, very cool.
Now we'll see if Cookie does. There's kind of a newer strat with AMG. So back in the day, you used to just kind of come up here and pop your pellet and hit the head and stagger it, but not do any HP damage. Well, it's kind of a newer strat. Saves like 2 to 3 seconds here, where you pop it a little bit later and time it just right, where you actually get the damage there, and it actually saves, just like I said, just a few seconds. Which, especially in PB attempts, that little bit of extra seconds add up throughout the run.
You see Cookie pop another third of the umbilical cord. That's the second one, which he got from killing Murgo's wet nurse. Looks like DP going to quit out here because these rock bros can follow you and the silver beast can follow you. He's just not going to risk it here.
It's just one of those choke point moments when you aggroed a bunch of enemies and then you get stuck on a door and they can catch up to you, and that bad things can happen because this is in all bosses no clip. It's called partial quit outs are allowed. So pretty much any quit outs allowed as long as you are not doing any animation that starts with an X, such as a door or a lever. And that was more or less instituted back in the inaugural days when everybody had HDDs and load screens were 45 seconds to a minute.
Right.
And it's kind of a nice little middle ground as far as being able to do quit outs yet not overloading it to the point where that's all you see.
Cookie back in the Forbidden Woods from earlier where he went to Shadows. You have to go to Yosefka's clinic where you started the game, but he's going to go in the back way. And so let's see if he opts to do the cave skip here. I don't think he will, but we'll see.
Looks like he's going for it.
Okay, so he's going to do cave skip. He's going to try to get up on these tombstones. You can get stuck, and then he's going to drop into the cave here. Hence the name cave skip.
Doesn't even skip the cave, unfortunately. We're good with our naming.
Yeah. So, GG by Cookie. Meanwhile, DP getting ready to make it up to Mikolash.
And we didn't mention it, but cave skip definitely is one of the ones that I think it's one of the most high risk, or low reward skips, because it saves only about, I think, 18 seconds roughly, something like that. But the fact of the matter is you can definitely die if you don't hit that rock correctly or get stuck out of bounds. And so it's definitely can be, for that little amount of seconds, but you can lose over a minute if you die. And so it's kind of scary to definitely implement in your run.
All right, so DP getting what we call the Swedish RNG,
and he
where
grabs
Mikolash runs straight towards the room.
Yeah.
So he can either run up the stairs, then debate you and turn around and come back down. He can run up and around, which is the most common, the slowest, or he can just run straight to the room. And
elected to kill both the puppets just so he didn't have to mess with them.
Takes care of Mikolash phase 1, easy peasy. Cookie coming up on the backside of Yosefka's clinic. and he is going to get the Canehurst summons to get to another optional area in the late game, and he is going to get the he's going to kill the fake Yosefka, don't come at me, lore people. Okay, I don't know my Bloodborne lore. Okay, I just played the game 1,000 hours. He's gonna kill a female that's pregnant on a table, and he's gonna get the last cord. And that's all. That's all that should matter.
Pretty
Let's
much.
see- let's see if
She
he
has something we need, and
Yeah.
didn't get the double Swedish luck. So there's obviously two phases of Miko, and he got the first phase Swedish, but the second phase, he has a pretty much 50-50 shot at going one way or the other. Gets the plunge, very nice. Should be, as he regens his stamina here, and then because this is the cool thing about Miko, it takes 3 hits for him to stagger or to aggro, and you'll do 1 on the plunge, then you roll, do another L1, 2, and then you can sit there and regen your stam. It's kind of a cool little implementation of a boss mechanic.
Yep. So you'll notice that Cookie is at 45 insight now, and you're wondering, okay, we were buying resources earlier. Why aren't we using that? To get the Blood Rock, which is the equivalent to a Titanite slab from Dark Souls, which takes your weapon from +9 to +10, the final upgrade. There's 3 ways to get it. There's one in the DLC. There's one down where he got the 18% gem where DP's going right now, but those are slow. So he's going to end up buying a Blood Rock right before the DLC with 60 insight. So he just popped his third umbilical cord there. That puts him at 48, and now that he has popped all 3, he's going to get the final secret boss. Meanwhile, DP picking up the gem. These winter lanterns, they sing and they do frenzy, which is kind of like bleed, if you will. It's not good, and they'll try to grab him as well. So there's the frenzy. Oh, get out of there, DP. All right. He's going to get out of there with his gem.
That section's very scary in all bosses because, again, we talked about, and especially for DP being he had the reborn death, you want to hold as many echoes of these as you can.
Right.
And
you ain't going back to get him if you die there.
No.
Because you would have to kill one of the winter lanterns, and they're all singing and they're all frenzying you. And so we're back at the cathedral, and we're going to the upper cathedral ward. This is what Cookie grabbed the key for in Yahargul village. And we got 2 more bosses here, and then we will be headed to the DLC. Well, we got Cleric Beast, and then we got the DLC. So you're going to see the orphanage key skip coming up, which you're supposed to run around the first floor, come back up to the second, and kill this brain sucker that allows you to get to the boss, the brain sucker enemy. DP will be doing it with the cane, but Cookie's going to do the skip with the extended saw cleaver. He's going to aggro the enemy through the door, and the enemy will come to the door so he can kill him without ever having to go around. So this is a really, really cool skip.
DP elected to grab some extra cold bloods there to make up for the echoes he lost, which probably will put him just about where he needs to be anyway, so not too big of a deal.
Let's see how it see. I think this skip is super cool with the saw cleaver. So he just got him. Brain sucker come to door. And voila. No, he didn't die. Oh, it's because he's missing that one level of skill.
I think it's because he's missing that one little bit level. See, that's kind of the crazy thing. One little level can make a difference, but yeah, typically with the 3225 at this point, you can 44. If you everything goes right, 44 strength, 25 skill, you can one-shot that guy with the R2.
So Cookie picking up the badge right there. That badge allows you to buy as many Beast Blood pellets and blue elixirs as you like for 1 and 2 insight respectively. So since Beast Blood pellets are so good, that badge is right there. We grab it. It's like DP's having a really good wet nurse. She teleported once, I think, but it looks like there's going to be no nightmare phase. GG DP.
And then Cookie's here approaching the Celestial Emissary, which is another kind of boss like Rum, where the ads are a lot more menacing than the boss. And oof, that was close.
Yeah, it's not over
yet.
the ads in boss fights are harder than the boss sometimes. So he's just gonna hit this guy till he dies. Hit him till he dies. Good boss.
There you go.
And now he's taking another lamp.
Taking these lamps because typically you wouldn't be grabbing these lamps. You would actually just you would want to keep the centrally cathedral ward lamp as your mark back because then you can go straight to the DLC. But being as it's a marathon, they want to be safe in case anything bad happens. So they're gonna grab those.
This next boss is really tough if you fight her normally, but there should be a strat to basically stun lock her with the I guess she's not a beast, she's Ken, but she has there's Ken type bosses, but she has limb staggers as well.
Yeah, and so you'll see him do pretty much get right before a limb stagger, but as your aggro, she wakes up.
Break the head. Do a ton of damage to said staggered head, and then an R2 to finish.
I think he could have got away with the R2, but... Alright, and he's actually electing to take the lamp back. Because marking back wouldn't really do him any good, especially since he grabbed that extra lamp. Yeah, but now, and he actually gets to keep the echoes, so he can pump some extra vid or whatever if he needs.
DP opting to skip the cave skip here. He's gonna outside this barn. You can actually hit the prompt, and he picked up 6 extra beast blood pellets, which makes sense because he lost 2 on 1 reborn. So he's just gonna run around and not do cave skip. These dogs aren't really a menace. Just a little bit of a run around, and Cookie has 1 more boss, and then he'll head to the DLC.
So he's going to go and grab that hunter set that DP has. Pretty much just grabbing it early, is some extra insurance defensively from early game. I know one part, you don't fight shadows anymore, but if you ever would do and you get like a double swipe opener with the the base starter close, it's a death straight up. But if you even have the hunter set, that can save you, and keep you alive. So having that little extra defense can be nice, especially for a marathon run.
Yeah, so I see a question in chat. The easiest explanation is there's a wolf skip that you can do at the very beginning of the game where the wolf will bite you and push you through the gate straight to Yosefka's clinic. So you can go straight to shadows with a +0 weapon. And it's basically just a completely different run because the routing is different, and it just wouldn't make sense to have them in the same category. It's what, Peanut, like 3 minutes faster?
Roughly 3 minutes faster, something like that.
Not everybody
overall.
wants to run. Not everybody wants
and
to
it's long story short.
To say it's reset heavy is an understatement. You're at the mercy of the wolf. And
we demonstrated that Bloodborne naming generation for skips and such is not top tier. So no clipping might kind of sound to an outsider be like, oh, you're clipping through walls and whatnot. It's pretty much just using an enemy to clip through a wall or whatnot, and really it's only applicable there at the wolf skip.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a classic route, right, so to speak.
So DP picking up the stuff in the clinic. You see Cookie is going to Cleric Beast, which is in the very first area of the game. So he is just going to demolish this boss.
This is always a good indicator of just how far you've come along in your journey.
Yeah, because this could honestly be your first boss of the game. It's not a mandatory boss, but this boss almost made me rage quit my first play because I found it, took forever to kill it, and then found out I didn't even have to. So it's 5 hits.
Yeah, the wolf skip was actually officially named Cookie because GiantCookieJar here actually found it. It was clip out of kind of Sefka establishment. He wanted a skip named after him, and he finally got it. And he actually found another skip maybe 2 weeks ago, roughly, research hall skip, which I expect to see him do it. I would feel disappointed if the skip finder himself wouldn't do the skip, but we'll see.
So you just saw Cookie buy the Blood Rock for that 60 insight, and then he bought enough pellets for the DLC. DP getting a +9. He has his 15, 18, 18 gems in now, so he is headed to Amygdala. So whereas Cookie went straight to Amygdala after Wet Nurse, DP opted to do the wood section first so he could have pellets. So just a little bit of a change in routing. And his lecture hall skip. All right, try 1, try 2. You can see it's easy to get caught up in the loop with this skip. It feels so good to get it the first try. I think after like 3 tries you're losing time, so
3 to 4 roughly is where you're breaking even.
he got it. So Cookie is in the DLC. My personal favorite DLC out of all the FromSoft games, the Old Hunters. We got 5 bosses to fight in here, and then we'll clean up some end game. So first thing you got to do is grab this eye pendant, which is going to allow us to go further into the DLC. And now we don't really have any skips here. It's just straight run to the next boss. Let's see, DP's going to go for... Cookie did the charged R2 version. The version I always did was turn around and sit down on that little rock that I told you guys about that protrudes. So let's see. Yeah, DP's going to get right on the rock. He sees just floating, slide off that rock, and now your fall damage is not lethal. So very cool skip.
I think that was the Hex special as well, if I'm not mistaken.
The sit down?
Yeah, or just Nightmare Frontier skip in general.
It's a Dan Coister.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. There used to be a really insane way to do it with a jump that I think Dis did in an old segmented run, but it was like hours just to get it once, I want to say.
There's a lot of hidden little ledges that we
Right.
may or may not have found in this game, and there's one there, but like Casey said, it's difficult to hit, so we just kind of do that strat, and it's pretty quick and it's pretty brain dead as long as it goes well.
Cookie did a quit out there to reset those enemies, so he could just hit them twice whenever the game spawns back in, the enemy's positions reset, so just save a second or two.
TP has a nice AMG, no problems there.
So gonna blue elixir through here. Poison ladies.
He's getting the ticks after him.
Yeah, the ticks after him, and then this guy will always shoot you at least once. Let's hope he doesn't shoot more than that.
He should be fine, especially with the extra vit. I would have been more concerned if you were at base vit taking that poison shot, but being as he has a little bit extra, it's not too big of a deal.
See if he takes the Ludwig lamp.
Doesn't look like it.
Ludwig is the first boss of the DLC.
Oh, he changed his mind.
Ludwig is the first boss. Super, super cool boss in the DLC. And with the fire paper they saved from earlier, Ludwig's first phase is a beast. His second phase is not. So pretty unique in that way. So with this fire paper strat, it used to be we would take it... all the bosses have 2 phases, right, or more. And so it used to be we would take him to second phase, and then you'd be at the mercy of his opener. Is this a hex strat, Peanut?
I'm not sure, but I think so. It's definitely.
The fire paper adds just enough damage to. You'll see what happens when he goes into phase 2. Super cool. So break a limb, break his dome, pop the fire paper, get the charged R2 counter hit as the boss is moving away. And now, instead of being at Ludwig's mercy, he goes straight for his AoE, which does like no damage to you. And easy finish. GG Cookie.
And actually, I'm not 100% certain, but I actually do think for some reason, like there's a property in the game that beast type enemies die quicker or have different death animations when they like get killed with fire, and his death animation's actually faster, hence why we started using the fire paper. We used to have to wait on the fog wall, and with that fire paper, and he just dies a little bit faster and you don't have to wait on it. It's like a very small bit, but it's kind of a cool little thing where we just took the fire paper from Parl and moved it to Ludwig to save just a smidge of seconds.
So Cookie said he was going to do early Skull, but I think he forgot. So you see the cane there? There's the old version of the orphanage key skip. The thing about the cane is if you whiff, sometimes the brain sucker will just stand there and spam magic at you, and he gets so far out of range that you have to run back down the hall and quit out. So it seems like the saw cleaver's better, but I've never actually tried it. I always did it with the cane when I ran the game.
The cleaver's mostly nicer in just that you do pretty much one less hit overall because the cane's unupgraded. It doesn't do any damage. It's just more or less to get him to the door as opposed to hitting him with the cleaver that's +9 +10 or whatnot.
Right. So Cookie did another quit out there to reset these enemies, and that'll allow him to go straight for the ladder. We used to have to go down the hallway on the left, but Nims found that quit out when he ran Bloodborne temporarily. The irony of a DS3 runner finding quit outs, Kappa. If you don't know,
I honestly, I doubt I could go through the research hall without that version anymore.
DS3 is a super heavy quit out run.
DP on Emissary.
No. Got the YOLO Emissary after him.
Oh no,
he got him. They have an attack that'll like slap you like 4 or 5 times and it'll just annihilate you.
Yeah, you pretty much want to kill that little dude before he gets big.
Yeah, he does have a second phase, believe it or not, where he does arcane.
All right, and we got the research hall skip. So let's see it.
For it.
Yeah. All right, he's going for the fast version. This ought to be interesting. Oh, all right, so there's 2 different versions of this new skip. So there's one that you pretty much, we talked about kind of invisible ledges. There's one that's kind of over there that you can, on that wall right by the door, where you can kind of traverse along the top and fall down outside the door without hitting the cylinder in the middle. But there's also a version where you can clip through the wall, and it's 7 to 15 seconds. But
if Cookie dies, blame Cookie because he found it. So
yeah, pretty much.
I haven't actually seen the skip, so this is pretty cool. Somebody said it messes with Failure's AI. Is that
the thing with it is you actually are skipping the boss trigger, so it kind of you used to have a pretty standard opener where you'd open it and pop your pellet and paper. Well, being as if you go and just kind of touch the door area to activate it, it kind of gets a little bit more awkward. It's not as scripted as it used to be.
The Wowega failures.
Oh, you almost had it there. So yeah, there's like a pillar that's like you can land on in there in that wall, and it's cool when you see it because you pretty much land on this little pillar and then just roll on through the wall. I remember me and a Hattie when tried to find a good setup for this for like 6 hours, and we weren't very successful.
So DP heading to the DLC now. He still has Cleric Beast to kill as well.
And this is the kind of the thing with the newer skips, and it finding setups and whatnot are somewhat difficult. And
now, keep in mind though, Cookie's not really losing time at all. Each one of these is probably like 7 seconds IGT, and then we got the 25 seconds or whatever to get back in the game. So it looks like DP's making up a lot of ground, and he is. He's doing well. Don't get me wrong, but Cookie isn't losing that much time here. Yeah, just keep doing this, Cookie.
All right, now Cookie elected to do the quote unquote slower version of the skips.
Oh, that was awesome. That was very cool.
And I think he actually did hit the cylinder just in case he has a death.
Yeah, he did.
Because that's the one other downside of that new skip is because if you do know the early skull and have a death anywhere in the DLC, it's going to put you back at Research Hall and have to go all the way back to the top to get anywhere. So,
he got
triple slaps.
So if you kill the first failure fast enough, he'll just keep spawning over and over. Now he's got the other guy. He's at the mercy of the other guy shooting magic at him, which he won't get hit by most likely. It's just annoying. But with your beast meter and your damage so good here, you can just keep farming the failure. In a normal fight, there'd be 4 of them spawning because you can't kill them fast enough. Oh, here's the meteor storm.
And this is kind of the thing that some people have mentioned, you know, that's kind of gets a little awkward with this fight now with the new skip. Is if you don't time it, the timing kind of gets messed up, and you can potentially, you know, get the meteors, which are kind of slow. You pretty much just have to be very quickly on killing the guy on the right to prevent that from happening.
So you notice that he quit out right there, and the reason he does that is when you quit out anywhere except in the hunter's dream, you keep your beast meter. So what he's going to do is this next boss is so close to the one he just killed, he's going to start the fight with almost a full beast meter, which is a ton more damage. So
oh wow, it actually did the thing where it puts you I haven't seen that. That's new. I haven't actually seen that. That's wild. So
fog gate.
Yeah, there's sometimes in certain boss arenas you can kill a boss and have the boss be dead, but the arena still counts as a boss arena, hence it'll put you back at the beginning, and that's actually the first time I think I've ever seen that.
DP going +10, and now he is headed to the DLC as well. So this is Lady Maria. And yeah, look how big his meter is to start.
True meter north.
True meter north. It lives on. She's a hunter. She's got 3 phases. She's got really, really bad hitboxes in phase 3.
She's not being very nice to him right now.
Oh,
he got the backstab though. Very nice.
And she's going to go to phase 2, and by the time she does that, she's probably going to be dead when she starts phase 3. She's going to try to go to phase 3 now. And that just shows you how much damage we have right now.
Good fight from Cookie. Yep. DP's on his way to go grab the ice summons, and then he's going to go on his journey to Ludwig.
Yep. Cookie going to be entering the final DLC. We still got 2 more DLC bosses, but he's going to be entering the final area of the DLC, which is the fishing hamlet.
Yeah, we've got to. Unfortunately, at this point, you got to go back and go and run up to Lawrence twice. I've been petitioning Cookie to find us a way not to have to run up here twice, but
yeah. So that giant flaming beast that DP just went up to, if you guess that might be a boss, you might be correct. So
they'll both be back there shortly. So I don't know if Cookie got an extra elixir, but Hamlet's pretty easy to run through, but there's it can be concerning. It's a stamina management. You know, if you don't have good stamina, you can get messed up. You know, you've got these flying skulls, you've got guys throwing spears at you, you've got shark dogs who scream at you, you've got an enormous shark at the end. You know, it's a lot to go with. It looks like no elixir, so
he is going to take the lamp because the next boss, while we'll probably staggered spears. Oh, as long as the shark doesn't come in, the shark will one-shot him easily while he's sprinting. All right, he's going to make it to the lamp.
Home base. All right, he's quitting out to get rid of the shark.
Oh, did you know? You see him jump?
Trying to keep us on the toes. All right, DP gonna do a little run through up here. Now this is one of the big things that's always you know Ludwig. You don't want grabbing the Ludwig lamp is always the big peach, but the
ticks are spitting poison at him.
Yeah, it's not. It's always scary though, because typically at this juncture you only have that one elixir you used.
Right.
And so coming up and getting past this ladder, this is the boss of this whole run through, because this guy's just chilling at the bottom, he's spawn camping you.
So what you just saw Cookie do was run off the edge, and in the Dark Souls engine, except for 2, in Demon Souls, DS1, DS3, and Bloodborne, there's what's called slope quit outs. So when you fall down and you land on a slope, once you land on the ground from said slope, it takes a second to register your fall damage and for you to die. So there's like the seal skip and DS1 or Wilhelm skip and DS3. You go, and as soon as you fall down, before the game registers your fall damage, you quit out, and then you come back in and you're alive at the bottom of the slope. So that's how you get into Orphan from being out of bounds. So this is Orphan to Cost. It's going to be a heavy backstab fight. I'd say for a lot of people, this is probably the hardest boss in the game. Maybe one of the hardest boss in Souls. So Cookie going for some backstabs.
Meanwhile, Ludwig's trying his best to get DP.
Yeah, DP didn't get the counter hit at the end of phase 1.
That's alright, he'll power through.
And now, anything after 50%, he can go to phase 2. He's going for a butt scratch, which makes Orphan do a jump attack.
And that's it
GG.
right there.
That's a textbook Orphan of Kos.
And I don't. He didn't grab the early skull, but he's grabbed a lamp, so he's gonna have to warp back to the beginning of research hall to grab that skull, but not a big deal.
Yep. So if you notice, Orphan died in phase 1. He's not really supposed to have that death animation, so he kind of just stands there. So now he's going to pick up Lawrence's skull, and that'll allow Lawrence to be activated. Oh, it looks like DP having a little bit of issue trying to get up the elevator, trying to get the skull. The 2 hunters are after him.
He's doing some. This is some insane ad lib skull.
He got it though. So normally what you would do is you would kill Ludwig, you would light the lamp in research hall, you would kill Failures, Maria, Orphan, then warp back and grab Lawrence's skull then. But since DP is planning on taking other lamps, there's no reason to come back to research hall. He's just going to grab the skull now.
And this is all bosses without the chalices, so we won't fight Queen Yarnum today. Maybe someday we'll have a all trophies tournament, but that's probably a long shot.
A Hades race will be all bosses, no Logarius.
Yeah.
So, if you want to watch, is that today?
No, that's I think this coming weekend.
Yeah. If you want to watch the world record holder, he doesn't know how to find one of the bosses, so should be interesting. So Cookie stock back up on pellets and papers, whatever he needs for the rest of the run, and he is going to fight Lawrence, which looks like a reskinned cleric beast, but it's really not. He has more moves, believe it or not, than any boss in this entire game. You won't see most of them. You won't see hardly any of them in the speed run. The boss has like 15 or 20 moves. He can be pretty tough. He hits like a truck. But
he's probably my least favorite to fight casually because he has so many moves that I never know what he's doing.
The belly he'll look at you and then he'll belly flop on you. Like he's got some stuff that you just never see. But with the damage and the strat they're about to use, they're actually going to kill him before he falls down into phase 3 technically.
Everything
goes down
goes
to his Michael Phelps and starts swimming on you. Was the old way to kill him, but now there's a strat to kill him before he ever falls.
There's been a couple different iterations of Lawrence in at least my time running, and this is by far the nicest and most comfy because, like you said, you don't have to fight phase 3, which isn't more or less difficult. It's just time consuming because you have to wait on him and see what he's doing.
All right, so he's a beast, so they're going after all these limb staggers, and he keeps putting the hand down attack. He's going to go for the right hand into the head break here, and that should do it. Right head break. Textbook by Cookie.
Very nice. DP electing to do the old white way through research hall, which isn't definitely not too, it's not slow by any means compared to the research hall skip. You know, it's just pretty much just the old way we used to do it and drop down. The scary part is there's a hunter that loads in kind of late there.
Yeah, if you get a sword roll, you just die a lot of the time. All right, so DP want to kill this. If he kills this one on the right fast enough, this one on the right will keep spawning. I don't know if he did. Yep, see the one on the left of the arena has already spawned. So I was a cool little thing about failures, if you don't know, in new game, which is what they're on. These ones that he's farming right now only have 1,200 health. The ones on the right have 2,500 health. So if you ever watch a BL4 speed run, which is the soul level 1 equivalent, no leveling up anything but your weapon, that we farm the one on the left instead of the right because you can't one cycle. You don't, with no stats, you can't one cycle this guy. You have to farm the ones on the left. So pretty neat little fact.
He's got a couple extra failures, but not too big of a deal.
Having to pop a second pellet here,
which is definitely not the worst thing to do. You actually get 20% buff just by popping a pellet, which is...
Oh, the meteor's still coming and got DP.
Oh, he's still alive, though.
That peach health paid off.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, Cookie's running back to an area. You notice this is before Vicar Amelia, so this is a really early game area. So he's going to be making his way to the Witches of Hemwick. Maybe he'll show us the Hemwick skip, the long sought after. Since 3+ years ago when I was running the game, we've always tried to find a skip to get through this area. So far, no dice, but if anybody would find it, it'd be Cookie.
I remember I pulled up a map viewer and I tried my best to find something, but this upcoming gate you'll see by Cookie, it is thick as steel.
It is dummy thick.
Very much so.
Yeah. So just a long run around to get to the witches, and here we go. DP's about to. He doesn't have much meter, but we'll see how he does with Maria.
The fight's not too much longer without a pellet, much of a beast meter. Just it's a nice convenience since it's there. Why not take it, kind of thing.
She's not giving him very good openers.
I do always think it's funny you can stand right in front of her with that gunshot.
Yeah.
So this little left to right swipe is actually extremely dangerous because she gets hyper armor. And
take the riposte. Nope. Okay, this is a little monk ass. He's not gonna get the quick phase 3. He's gonna have to see a little bit of phase 2 here. And see, she starts getting blood on her attacks, and then phase 3 is blood and fire on her attacks. And the fire hitboxes are just blech. All right, we're gonna see a little bit of phase 3 too. All right, GG. Bully ball.
Got her against the wall, which was good.
So this is witches. Again, you could fight them before Vicar Amelia, so you'll just see how much damage Cookie does. You got these these butt heads that try to attack you, and they were pretty annoying, but the witches die fast. He's going to quit out on the barrel because the barrel's not part of the arena right now. Oh, and he missed it. If he would have quit out on the barrel as soon as he got the echoes, it would have put him back at the front of the arena, saving 4 or 5 seconds to run back up here.
He'll do a safety quit out just to reset all the enemies. Did he aggro it on his way up? Yeah, that guy can definitely mess you up if he aggroes and comes and hits you. And in my race, I had to fight the witches twice because I quit out too soon because I thought he was going to kill me. They're hex for sure.
All right, so he's going to go down to the pillar and the Hemwick crossing right now. And remember, whenever he went into Yosefka's clinic, he picked up the Canehurst summons. Well, the carriage is going to come and take him to the Forbidden Castle Canehurst, which is going to be the final optional boss of the game. And then we just got the end game bosses for Cookie. Meanwhile, DP opted to use the blue elixir for a little bit of safety. Still got the little dog on him. And he's going to do the slope quit out now. Let's see if he goes for a normal quit out. Nope, he's got the little dog on his rear.
Shark dog.
Cookie taking the peachiest of peach lamps, which is the Canehurst lamp. Because if you die in Canehurst, you stay in Canehurst. You just have to run back up the hill. So everybody make sure to give Cookie some grief. If he takes the elevator, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. There's an elevator that, you know, if you were to die to this boss, it's a super long run back. But
It's 2 to 3 minutes. It's quite a. It's probably one of the longest run backs in the game.
I'll see if he actually takes the elevator. DP doing a nice out of bounds there.
Yep.
And let's see how his orphan fight goes.
Yeah, there's not too much to worry about running through Canehurst. It's pretty chill. No pun intended. But
Same
yeah.
dad joke. All right, opening backstabs.
Got the little
Evade
jump
the
meme.
four combo. Oh, DP. All right, the orphan is fighting. Oh, he took the elevator. I'm done with Cookie. I'm done with him. Oh, and then he got grabbed.
All right, DP getting back on track with Orphan.
He might get a phase 1 kill. He's gonna jump away here and go for the backstab or the butt grab. There we go. When I say butt grab, that means he's hitting square on an item he's already using. So he's already has the Beast Blood pellet active. He hits square, and it just kind of makes you, we call it the butt scratch, but makes your guy just kind of reach in his pocket. And for some reason, it manipulates Orphan's AI into doing a jump attack.
You also noticed earlier in the fight, you know, he'd been hit and he was using some vials and he got a jump after that. You know, it's certain stuff like popping vials and stuff like that that, you know, are another way you can get that jump.
The funny part of it is that I think Orphan's AI is designed to punish you while you're trying to use an item, but you're actually kind of debating him because you're using said item to manipulate his AI, if that makes sense. So, pretty cool. All right, so DP already got the skull, so he got rid of his insight. Now he's going to Lawrence, and meanwhile, Cookie coming up on Martyr Logarius.
And while he's not overly difficult, we've seen already in these tournament races that he can pose some memes.
Definitely can. Insta skull to the face.
Like right there.
Right there. Cookie ready for it? Oh.
Yeah, this is right here is where he's trying. He's trying his hardest. All right, it should be GG. He's gonna have a little bit. He's gonna have a little bit of health at the end here. Hopefully, he gets a jump up.
Fly up, run in the circle. Perfect. I love that. He goes straight up in the air and he goes to track where you first were. So you just run in a little counterclockwise circle, and it sets you up for a perfect backstab.
That's about the best RNG you can get. Meanwhile, DP's on Lawrence.
Yep, DP on Lawrence, and meanwhile, Cookie is going to the final 2 bosses of the game, which are in the Hunter's Dream. Gehrman, the first Hunter, and then super secret boss.
Super secret.
Gehrman being a hunter, you want to parry some riposte on him, some backstabs. If he jumps, he'll give you some backstab attacks. But mainly parrying with him. Parry into transform attack. GG.
Oh,
hyper armor.
Got some hyper.
He's gonna go to phase 2 and trick his weapon.
Maybe. All these bosses are trying their hardest to throw.
Get a nice double backstab out of the transform. Now Gehrman has hyper armor on everything, so he's gonna go for his AoE, which takes like 5 seconds to charge up. So, GG Cookie.
He's building up some meter right now, just so he can take it into the Moon Presence fight. In a typical run, you're doing both of these in one pellet if you can.
Yeah, ideally. Break limbs, break head. Probably take a visceral. No, it doesn't give it to you sometimes because of the way the elevation is. Moon Presence has an attack that drains you down to 1 HP. but then she just sits there and dies. And that is
GG
going to be
Cookie.
GG for Mr. Cookie Jar. Once he quits out, once he gets the echoes, he won't go into New Game Plus, and this will show his in-game time whenever he loads back in. And let's cheer on DP. He's on the tail end of the run as well. I think our best run so far has been a 112. I'm interested to see what Cookie gets.
That was a pretty good run by Cookie.
No deaths.
111.05.
111.05.
So far, that is the best run we've had thus far. So GG Cookie.
DP, get out of chat.
Runners out of chat.
No runners in chat.
Yeah,
Right,
those little dogs right there, they almost took me out during my race. They're scary. You wouldn't think so, as this is like a, you can go here almost before Amelia, but most of the time, you're not leveling up your vit and stuff, and while some of the earlier game stuff doesn't hit you as hard, it can, everything still poses a threat. So
right,
running through these areas is
with
definitely
the counter
very
damage we
precise.
were talking about, and I think almost every runner now that's what I would say going for optimal times. You don't level vit the entire run. We used to when I started 2017, 2018. So Bloodborne had been out a while, but we think we were running 29 vit. and then people thought it was crazy to go down to 22. So it's we've come a long way.
And then Ivan came along and changed the game.
Yeah, then Ivan said, "I'm not leveling Vid at all," and he said, "I'm not I'm YOLOing ROM," and now the run's just crazy.
I'll be honest. Once I started running, it was pretty much the standard was 10 vit at that time. You sometimes would go 12 vit in the hunter set to survive a fireball from the Lunarium key skip. But other than that, really, it wasn't too. You're maximizing your damage, and as long as you're executing correctly, everything should go well.
You don't want that Bergenworth tanning package. That's
sir.
That's what I always called it when the bug shoots the fireball at you. The old tanning package will one-shot you.
It's usually not too bad in the marathons because you're grabbing the Bergenworth lamp, but it's still definitely a time you don't want to get hit by that.
All right, DP fighting the witches. See if he can get the barrel quit out that Cookie couldn't. Got to give Cookie grief after taking that Logarius elevator.
Okay, he's got one of them kind of looking hungry at him.
So he's going to quit out on the barrel as soon as he gets the souls. This is the same concept of the Great Wood skip. If you've seen DS3 speedruns, you're quitting out as soon as the boss dies on something that's not part of the boss arena. So what it does is put you outside the boss arena. Pretty cool little stuff that carries over and transfers from game to game. And there you go.
Boom. It's always awkward though because you're facing in towards the boss fight, so you have to kind of do a turnaround.
Right. Are we gonna get the runners in here at all, Peanut?
Yeah, we'll get the runners in here at the end.
Okay, cool. I feel bad shaming Cookie when he can't give me a rebuttal.
He'll have his time for rebuttal, but
at least he did research all skip because he did.
He attempted the hard version, but I don't blame him for going for the other one. I still haven't even implemented it in my runs because I'm not very confident in it, but it's brand new. But yep, just the run through segment. You got some of those blood ticks. These ones actually are, it's kind of funny. These ones actually, for the most part, aren't like filled, quote unquote, because the other ones in the DLC, they're in the blood river. They've been having a feast, right?
Right.
These ones they're still scary. There's one that can approach you at the door actually, and hit you pretty hard, and potentially, if you're sprinting, you can one-shot you because you're trying to, get through that door. Yeah. I don't know if we had the runners command going, but KC just posted their Twitch handles. Yeah, definitely go follow these runners. They're
Follow
both,
Peanut.
yeah,
Peanut's
awesome
a very
runners.
active runner. Very enjoyable to watch. I enjoy my time. I don't get to watch Cookie and DP as much because they're on like a 6 or 7 hour difference from me. But me and Peanut live like 30 minutes apart, so he streams in the evenings. So I'm in there a lot. But these are all great runners. You can put me on there if you want, but I don't really stream anymore. But in the rare occasion I do, I'm Casey Smurf 1 because I changed my name for a while and then they wouldn't give me my old name back. So
Heckin' Twitch.
yeah.
But no, KC was one of the ones that I learned from when I began, and definitely I've learned a lot from him, from more so his challenge runs. KC's a very accomplished challenge runner in all of the Souls games. And I've implemented many things from him into like my BL4 speed runs, so definitely check out his YouTube at least. But yeah.
Yeah, the legend of Jerry Jules. All right. Running
We got no
section
gargoyle memes. Actually, it was funny. So we always used to joke the K-Dub Goyle. There's gargoyles on that roof up there, and there was always a joke that K-Dub, K-Witty23 had gotten grabbed by one. Yeah, on a PB pace run. So we always would joke about that. And actually, just recently we had just a race just for fun, and a Hattie got hit by the sonic wave, and it killed him.
Did it really? Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was the most random, it never happens thing, and
Wow.
it was funny because you can imagine a Hattie.
Oh yeah.
Reacting in a Hattie fashion.
Nice things to say whenever the game doesn't go his way.
All right, DP getting an insta skull into a insta swipe. All right, Ligarius definitely doesn't want to play nice today.
He's trying to overtake the One Reborn as the biggest biggest obstacle in the runs.
Pretty much the biggest thing is you want to backstab it when he's doing that phase transition, because when he
nice
gets
strafe. Very cool strafe.
Ooh, that was juicy.
That was sexy. GG DP, at least going out with some style points. All right, now DP is on to the final two bosses. Again, he had a bunch of quit outs for shadows. He didn't do research all skip, but I'm trying to think. I think the quit outs were probably pretty close for both of them.
It was pretty close.
Obviously, Cookie won. I'm not hinting at that, but
you never know till we see the IGT. Our very first race today, we had a RTA winner that did not win IGT. So those are things that can happen, but for the most part,
I'm speaking to
never over to the fat lady sings, as they say. Or to the moon presence fades away.
Until you turn into a slug.
That's right.
Oh, he almost got blunderbust.
And the tricky thing with Gehrman definitely is him getting into these, getting wild. He has a pistol, and you want to keep him away from the walls because you want to go for that phase transition backstab. And a lot of bosses in this game like to put their backs against the wall just to heck you.
Yep.
Right, very nice.
Blunderbust. Gonna be close. Okay, nice. If you miss that, Gehrman can go straight into his AoE, and there's his AoE attack. So this is going to be a 2-pellet fight. Not optimal, but he should have some meter built up for Moon Presence, granted that everything goes well the rest of the way.
Usually having the... it's actually probably almost better that he had to pop that second pellet, because usually popping it mid-fight can be tricky sometimes. You can get caught in a bad spot, and it just kind of makes the fight a lot more awkward. And now he can just focus on bulldozing him down.
Going for some headshots.
I'm always scared when he gets away there because he'll do his little AoE, like 1 HP AoE attack. But if you stagger him during it, and he does it again, it'll kill you.
Right.
So I always get hesitant when they go up to him.
Dumb way to die.
GGDP.
I'm guessing it's going to be like a 115-18. If I had to guess, I'm putting my money on 115-18. But that is just completely out of left field. He could win. Oh, 119-46. He put the Pepe up. It's all good, dude. That was a sick race.
But yeah. Cookie DP, come on in.
Come on in, Dutchman. What's up, dude?
Oh my god.
What's up, Cookie? How would you boys think of your runs?
That was pretty solid. I didn't die. So that's what I was going for.
You did research all skip.
Yeah, I was trying to do. I was being peer pressured. I didn't even want to do it. But then I heard you guys talk about it. It's like, oh my god. Now I have to do it.
DP, tell us about what the hell happened with One Reborn, dude.
Yeah, like I got like 2 corpse options while trying to break the legs. I just thought like, just dodged it and then sacred afterwards, but just didn't sacred no matter what I did. Like
I know, I saw you hit him like 8 or 9 times.
And then just everything went completely wrong. Like Reborn can be so chaotic, like it's insane. I didn't second.
Were those your only deaths?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were.
They're just super long run backs.
Yeah, and the second one, like I literally just got there, immediately just got destroyed, just got hit by everything.
Right.
Aggroed
One Reborn is not a very fun boss.
Yeah, and I mean I had some bad fights, but besides that, it was a pretty decent run, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's very good.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Cookie, I had to shame you though. You did.
Yeah, I know.
You took the Logarius elevator.
I was playing so safe. I was playing safe on everything. I just didn't want.
Can we just disqualify him for getting the elevator?
Oh, damn.
He wins by default.
No.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, at least I had
really fun
finish the run.
Yeah, we've definitely got all these finished. I don't think we've had anybody get super bogged down, or nothing, and we've all had finished runs all pretty much sub 80. So that's pretty good.
Is this double elimination like normal?
This is double elimination,
Nice.
so everybody's still in it. And so with that being said, that completes this match, and Cookie will go on. And let me pull up my bracket here. But we've got many more matches coming. We have another one coming on today.
Hey, nice.
So DP will continue on and face the winner of Pinkman versus Blade, which is actually the other match we have today, which will be in roughly, I got to do my math because it's time zones. Yeah, roughly about 6 hours from now, we're going to have another match here on the channel. It's going to be Pinkman versus Blade, the new Blade Runner, and we're going to have BLT and Eden commentating. So that's going to be a really fun matchup to watch. And the winner of that one will go against Cookie, and DP is going to go down and be against, see if I could figure that out here. We do not know who he will go against. It looks like whoever loses the match later today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, cool.
But awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
Anything
so thanks,
else you
guys.
want to say about your runs?
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous, but once I started doing runs,
You
clicked.
did great.
I think everybody has had a first race jitters, and but I think it's been about 2 years since we've had a tournament, and it's fun to be back and doing this, and I think everybody's having a good time with it. So
For sure.
Definitely.
let's keep going on. So yeah, thank you Cookie, thank you DP for the race, thanks Casey for commentating with me.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Come back in 6
guys.
hours if you guys want another one.
I'll
indeed.
definitely watch
You
that.
better be there.
And with that being said, I think that's going to be it for us. Looks like we can
And hit you with some Peepo Haze.
Peepo Haze, and we will send you guys off. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you in about 6 hours.